Okay, guys, we weird version of Who's Your Band. Sean, how you holding up during this?
I like this version because I don't have to sit next to you.
Oh, come on, you missed it next to me.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When I sit next to you, I have to wear pants.
If you're not wearing pants right now, I don't need that image in my head.
Well, get it in there because it's happening right now.
God. Well, I'm shirtless.
No, you're actually not because we have video and we can watch you.
Even being in a room by myself, I wouldn't be shirtless.
Yeah, there's no need for that.
It's too repulsive these days.
It really is. I actually, because I've been home for like 2 months now, and I actually cleaned my bathrooms about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I didn't wear a shirt. And it was one of those really horrible things where I realized my fat man tits were hanging over the edge of the tub while I'm scrubbing it. I was like, you know what? There was something said for the man's ear on Seinfeld. It really was.
Well, I like to call it the bro.
The bro? You're a bro guy?
Bro, you call it the man's ear, I call it the bro.
There we go.
What we're going to talk about today?
We are talking about the best debut albums of all time. And
Correct.
You wanted to do 5, and I'm looking at my list here, and I got about 15.
You know what? It's so funny that you said that because I thought the guitar player that we did a couple of weeks ago was a difficult one. This one was impossible. I also have more than 5 as well.
Give me your first one.
All right. You know what? Interesting thing while doing this is
no order. There's no order to this.
No order.
But
what I did find was probably the most prolific year of debut albums was 1978. I mean, there are 3 major albums that come out.
I'm going to tell you one that you picked right now from 1978.
Go ahead.
Van Halen 1.
How can you not?
Right.
You see what the fucking album is?
It's amazing. Now I'm scratching it off my list.
Yeah. I mean, let's start with that one. I mean, look at side 1. Side 1 is opens. The first time you're hearing Van Halen, it opens with Running with the Devil. Then goes into Eruption, You Really Got Me, Ain't Talking About Love. That's side 1. And then you think, wow, what a great side 1. Look at fucking side 2. Jamie's Crying, Atomic Punk, Feel You Tonight, and probably one of my favorite songs by Van Halen, Little Dreamer. And no song over 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
That's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
It's great. And the thing is, when they recorded that album, I remember hearing the stories about it, and this is what bands used to do. They would go into the studio and play the album like it was their live show, and that's how they recorded that album.
I love when songs are under 4 minutes long because, I like to get more songs in. There's only time you can ever have never too long of a song. There was a strip club that's still open. It's called Hot 22 in Union, New Jersey. And what they would do is if you had a bachelor party, you could buy a treatment for your friend who was the bachelor. And what they do is they give you 3 songs and you bring the bachelor on stage and they take his belt off and they whip him with it. And, they just do all horrific stuff to it. So for my friend's bachelor party, he goes, look, here's my 3 songs. Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner by Iron Maiden, 12 minutes long. Inagata Davida, 11 minutes long. You know what? Throw in Change of Seasons by Dream Theater, which is 26 minutes long as well. We got into the first one. They're all looking at us like, what are these people doing? And we're like, just wrap it up after the first one.
Did you ever come with us when we used to do the open mics at Black Betty's in the basement?
No. I know where it is, but I never did the open mics there. That
was Bridgestone and John Kirscher and those guys. Yeah. One of these days we got to do a show down there. We used to have a lot of fun. All right, so now what was your band?
Well, my first one, I mean, obviously, my first one is Appetite for Destruction.
That's why I didn't put it on my list.
Yeah, it's Appetite for Destruction. In my opinion, not just because they're my favorite band. I mean, I still think it's the most in-your-face debut album ever. Because you have 3 of the greatest rock songs of all time with Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine, and Paradise City all on there. But even like the throwaway songs, if you think about it, they're not even throwaways. I mean, they're still playing live. They're doing It's So Easy, Night Train, Out to Get Me, Mr. Brownstone, Rocket Queen.
I'd like to pick you 4 songs to get to my favorite song on that album.
What's your favorite song on that album?
Rocket Queen.
See, I had this debate with another friend of mine, how it's not even my favorite on side 2. It's just, it was never my favorite song of theirs, and I always kind of skipped past it, and I never really appreciated the song until I saw them do it live. And then when I saw them do it live, it was
I think that's I'm sorry. I think that's a testament to how strong the album is.
Oh, it really is. It really is just, in my opinion, the greatest debut album of all time. But listen, we got a lot on this list, so you better. What's your next one?
This one I didn't think you're going to see coming. And again, no particular order, but I'm going to go Outlandos Devoir by the Police.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't put it on there. I'm not a huge Police fan. Like, I start with Synchronicity, but
oh man, they're already in their heyday when they get into Synchronicity. Now think about this is their debut album, and this is also 78, and it's a blend of rock, reggae, but they come off as kind of like punky. It's your introduction to Sting, and you got like the classics, Roxanne, Next to You, Can't Stand Losing You, and my favorite song off the album, Soul Only.
That is, you know, a lot of bands have such great albums, 2 and 3 albums in. When you have something like that, like I never knew Roxanne was on their debut album.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
That's why it's like I love Maiden, but it's not their first album isn't their best one. This is one of their best albums.
Yeah.
I kind of like this better than Synchronicity. All right.
My next one that I'm putting on is to me it's a groundbreaking album. It's groundbreaking. Beastie Boys, License to Ill.
Oh, that's a great album. But here's the thing, that's not their first album.
Official album, yeah.
Yeah, because remember before that they had an album and they had kind of a minor hit on it called She's On It.
Yeah, I remember. That's a great song too.
It is.
But I love the way they really incorporated rap, and it has a lot of rock into it too. So if you just listen to Fight the Right to Party and No Sleep to Brooklyn, it's Kerry King from Slayer playing the guitar.
That's right. That's right.
You know, anytime you went into a bar into the 90s or 2000s, you heard Brass Monkey or you heard Girls. You know, they're just great. They're just great fun party. It's a great fun party anthem album.
It's a great album.
Absolutely.
That's a monster album. Yeah.
Your turn.
All right. Number 3 for me, I'm still sticking with 78. And again, no order. The Cars debut album.
God damn you. I had that on my list.
Did you?
Yes.
I mean, this is why, like, look, that is like a greatest hits album. Good Times Roll, My Best Friend's Girlfriend, Just What I Needed, Don't Just Stop, which is a great song. You're All I've Got Tonight, Bye Bye Love, Moving in Stereo, all mixed up, an amazing song. And here's something, everyone remembers Rick Ocasek, but half those songs are sung by Benjamin Orr.
That I did know.
Right.
He sang Drive too.
Well, he sang Drive. That was off of his, that was off of a later Cars album. But Just What I Needed, which is one of their biggest hits, that's Benjamin Orr singing, not Rick Ocasek.
And did you ever hear the cover version of You're All I Got Tonight by Smashing Pumpkins?
No.
Great version. Smashing Pumpkins put out a thing called The Airplane Flies High, which was like when they recorded Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, which was a double album with 36 records, they still had another 36 songs that didn't make the album. And they put it down to a box set of like all six singles. They actually released the singles, and then there was a bunch of covers after that, and that was one of them. It's a fantastic version of it.
The Cars are great. Even their follow-up album, Candy-O, it almost seems like it's an extension of this album. And the 3 albums I listed all came out in 78. Think about how great that year was for music.
Oh, it really was. I mean, I didn't know it was 2, but yeah, definitely a great year. Definitely a great year. I'm going to go a little different for my next one. And it's, to me, it's actually one of my favorite albums. And I tell people that a lot, and they look at me like I have 2 heads. They know I'm like a real rock and metal guy. But Matchbox 20, Yourself or Someone Like You, is a perfectly written pop rock album. It has 3 a.m., Push.
Is Bent on that?
No, Bent is 2 albums later. But this first album, from song 1 to song 11, it's a perfectly written pop rock album Rob Thomas to me is one of my favorite one of my favorite songwriters to begin with.
Wow.
But 3 a.m., was a monster hit. Push was their first single, and if you know the song, it says, "I want to push you around." I never forget listening to an interview with Rob Thomas, and this guy came up to me and was like, "Yeah, man, I push my girl around too, man. I show her who's boss." And he went into his pocket and gave him $30. And he goes, "I'm giving you your money back for your ticket, and do me a favor and never come to one of my shows ever again." Because it wasn't about physical violence. The guy didn't understand that, But definitely, if you haven't heard it, man, definitely check it out. I know it's not in your genre, kind of, but it is a solid album.
I mean, I'm okay with Matchbox. I don't think I would never go see them on their own. If they open to somebody, I watch them. But
I've seen them a couple times. I saw them at Counting Crows last year, and then this year with the Wallflowers.
I love the Wallflowers.
Yeah,
that's something that should have been on my list. It's not. That's a great one.
Yeah, I wouldn't go with. They have 3 good songs on that album.
One Head Lights still one of my favorite songs.
Did you ever see the version with Bruce Springsteen doing it at the VMAs? Amazing version.
Of course, it's a great one. All right, I'll go with one that you probably have on your list.
What's that?
I'm gonna go Pearl Jam 10.
God damn you!
91. Alive, Even Flow, Jeremy, Black, and what's great about that is now we're into the 90s, and do you remember how great the video for Jeremy was?
Oh, it was one video of the year.
That's right, it did win video of the year. But that was again the first time you're hearing Pearl Jam, and if I remember right, they came up after, like I think Nirvana had already hit. Right?
Nirvana did Bleach came out in like 89, 90, but it was right, I'm literally like a month after Nevermind.
Right. So now you're hearing like the real Seattle sound.
Sure.
And Eddie Vedder, and I remember the first song I heard from them was Jeremy, and I also remember just like sometimes driving, and you just be blasting that CD, and it would really get into your head like a song like Black because it was so moody.
Did you ever hear Mother Love Bone?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know the story behind Mother Love Bone with Pearl Jam as well.
Yeah, what was that song? Hunger Strike?
No, that's Temple of the Dog. Mother Love Bone was with Andrew Wood, who was a singer who overdosed and wound up having Stone and Jeff from their start Pearl Jam.
Right.
Listen to Apple, their album Apple. It's a masterpiece. If he didn't die. And I'm not saying Pearl Jam wouldn't have existed, but if he didn't die, music would have been very, very different. Because that band would have taken off. Absolutely taken off.
Okay, so what are you going to go with your next one?
You want to stay in the 90s?
Sure.
Go bounce in the 90s? I'm going to go with 9 Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine.
Great album.
I remember being in high school listening to this when Head Like a Hole came out. I ran out, I bought the CD. It was nothing I ever heard was like this. It's got Head Like a Hole, Terrible Lie, Down in It, Something I Can Never Have, which is a brooding song about not having a chick. But just a killer album. And like this guy still puts out music all the time. Just the other day, he released 2 albums for nothing because he said people just need music, and he put out.
When that album came out, Pretty Hate Machine, that was like the start of the industrial sound, and like it was them, like I think Skinny Puppy, was another band like that.
They were the big breakout. I mean, that music has been around for a long time. If you look at like New Order,
I think New Order is more poppy than 9 Inch Nails. But one interesting thing about 9 Inch Nails was like the big trendsetter of music is always Bowie. But 9 Inch Nails, that whole sound influenced Bowie, where he made an album that influenced by 9 Inch Nails, and they toured together.
That song, "I'm Afraid of Americans," is one of my favorite songs.
That's a great song. Right, that was off that album.
Ridiculous.
You know what's a great 9 Inch Nails song? I've been playing it a lot. It really upsets my wife too. You ever hear the song "Wish"?
Oh, it's a great song. You gotta see it live too.
I've been, I go down these what they call those rabbit holes on YouTube, and I've been watching every live version of that fucking song.
Yeah, whenever I go into a rabbit hole on YouTube, it's usually pimple popping and earwax removal videos. So I'm a little different.
I love earwax removal videos.
Oh, it's a great thing.
You like the wax vac, don't you?
Listen, I don't want to get. Listen, this is a family friendly podcast, Jeff. I'm not talking about what I'm masturbating to. Okay, but
You're
yes, I absolutely do.
You're a disturbing guy.
What do you got next?
Let's see. Okay. Let's. Where am I gonna go now? Okay. You know what? We're gonna stay in the '90s too. And Weezer, the Blue Album.
God damn you!
I am a huge Weezer fan.
Oh my!
You are?
Oh, absolutely.
I saw Weezer tour on this album. It was them and Live together, and there was actually a pretty decent third band. I forgot where, and it was in this little club. And when you think about that, I mean, that has The World Has Turned, Buddy Holly, which is a great song, Undone, Say It Ain't So, In My Garage, which I love that song, and Only in Dreams, which is another great song. And guess who produced that one?
I don't know.
Rick Ocasek from The Cause.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did not know that. I gotta tell you, the video for Buddy Holly is one of the greatest videos ever.
Absolutely. It's right up there with that Aha video.
Oh, yeah. No question. I'm going to stay in the 90s. I'm going to blow your mind with this one because I know you forgot about this one. Rage Against the Machine.
I have it on my subsequent list, my little list. Yes. Yeah, it's great. That's a great one.
I mean, come on. Killing in the Name of, Bomb Track. Oh, I almost fell. You almost had an accident. That would have been hysterical.
That would have gone viral. God damn it, Sean, you should have fell.
Fat guys don't fall easy. Remember, when fat guys fall, you see your whole life flashing in your eyes. Like just now, I saw Sister Maria from 7th grade. You have no idea what I just saw.
I'm going to give you a shout out. One of the best falls I've ever seen on stage. Do you know Coleman Green?
Oh my God, the outdoor video. Yes.
Yes. Wow.
Oh, I've seen that. I had a bad fall on stage too once. Really, really bad. But actually twice. Twice I had two bad falls. What's that?
Did the feet go up in the air?
The first one, we'll get sidetracked. That's what we do anyway. The first one, I was working with Vic DiBitetto at Sarcasm in Cherry Hill, and they didn't have a stage. What they had was these little tiny, like, tables that had the legs that you pop out, and they zip tied them all. Well, there was one that they didn't zip tie. So then I'm doing this bit. I'm literally doing this bit about how I lost 100 pounds. And people start clapping, and I take one step, and I fucking hear the table going through. And I literally, the table collapsed, and I went into the crowd. And everybody's like, oh my God, oh my God. Now, I'm pretty limber for a big dude, so I literally jump up on the stage and grab the mic and just go, guess I should lose another 100 pounds, huh? And the place just lost it. And the second time, I was at the Borgata, and I was working with a comedian named Greg Morton. I don't know if you know who he is. Very funny guy. He's an impressionist, but he does like all kinds of things. So like the first night he goes, look, I do this gimmick at the end where I do a James Brown impersonation. Here's what I want you to do. I come out, I'm going to drop the cape and run off, right? You grab the cape, put it back on me. And we do this 3 times. So Sunday night, we do it, no problem. I'm wearing my Converse. Second night, I have all family coming down. So I say, let me get a little more dressed up. I wear these boots that were like $400 boots that I got for free, but it had nothing underneath. There was like glass underneath. It was so whatever. So
you got to buffer them. You got to.
No, they're dressed. They're like dressy boots, you know. So I go out, bring them back. Go out, bring them back. Third time, the last time I drag him off stage. And as I'm pulling him, he's a big dude. He's about 6'2", maybe 220, 230. I'm going backwards, and I'm like, I'm going down. I felt my feet going, and I went down. And from what I heard from my family, on the side of the Borgata is the curtain. All you saw was my fat little legs up in the air. And the next morning, Greg goes, God, that was amazing, man. I was like, what? He goes, can we do that again tomorrow? I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, when you threw me down, you fell. I go, dude, fat guys never fall on purpose, ever. But all you saw was my fat little feet in the air. But yes, Rage Against the Machine, phenomenal album. Wow, we get sidetracked really easy.
Well, I'm going to switch it up here.
I
don't think you're going to see this one coming from me.
Okay.
But I'm going to go 1983, She's So Unusual, Cyndi Lauper.
Son of a bitch.
Really? You had that?
Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely. I love that album.
I can't believe it. I mean, this is the thing about Cyndi Lauper. I remember because it was around this time that I was working in the record business. I was working for CBS, and I remember Cyndi Lauper because she was part of a group called Blue Angel.
Mm-hmm.
And when Blue Angel, they had like a little bit of a buzz, a little bit, and they were going to be signed, and something happened with them where they broke up, and then Cyndi winds up going back and doing like clubs, like kind of like the way we kind of would do like shitty little clubs, like the Village Lantern type of stuff. She'd be doing that stuff, and then she winds up getting signed on her own, and with the help of some of the guys there was a band from Philly called the Hooters.
And they were the backup band for her on the album.
They were her songwriters.
Yeah.
And they wrote songs like Money Changes Everything, the hit Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Time After Time, She Bop, my favorite song off of it, All Through the Night, and she winds up winning the Best New Artist of that
All Through the Night is a very underrated song from her.
Love that song.
It is a great, great song. Good choice, Jeff. You're hanging around me too much. Let me tell you, I'm rubbing off on you. How do you forget the Ramones' first album? How do you not put that on?
A little list here.
But how do you not put that on there?
Because I like the Ramones. I have I have a great piece of Ramones memorabilia in my house, but they're good. They're not. I always think they were a little overrated.
It's simple. It's simple rock. The Ramones. I always say the Ramones, Green Day. Yeah, the Ramones, Green Day, AC/DC. Not reinventing the wheel, but write some catchy songs.
What's off that first album?
Oh my God. Blitzkrieg Bop, I Want to Be Sedated. I mean, most of their hits. Most of their hits are on that first album.
I talk about like fast songs. I don't think they have a song over 3 minutes.
No, they don't at all. Absolutely not.
You know what I like? They had an album that was produced by Phil Spector that I like.
Phil Spector is very underrated. Great hair too.
He does have great hair. I'm growing my hair like his.
I can tell.
Yeah, by the time this whole thing is over, I'm gonna have Phil Spector hair.
What do you got next?
I think if you're gonna talk debut albums, you can't leave this one off. I don't think you like this band, but Boston. Boston '76, Tom Schultz, Brad Delp. Every single song received airplay on that album. Every song.
Well, what's the one song? Foreplay, right?
Well, that's their longest one, but the big hit off of that was
yeah. No, I don't hate the band at all. There's a little bit of that era of like the mid to late '70s classic rock that I'll probably buy a greatest hits album from, but I won't buy the actual.
That's what you need.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was getting at. But that album truly is everything they ever did. You know what I mean? Like they had some other albums after that, but nothing beats that one.
Nothing. I mean, they came out. The second one was "Don't Look Back." "Don't Look Back" was a good song. Then they came out with, and that took forever to come back out with. And then they came out with another one called "Third Stage," which had a couple of hits on it. "Turn the Engines" and "Amanda," which was probably their biggest hit off of that. But nothing ever came close to Boston. Like the Cars, they had albums that followed up that were actually bigger sellers.
Oh, sure.
Pearl Jam also. But Boston, that was it. '76 was probably there. When they made their debut in New York City, the first place they ever played was Madison Square Garden.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's how big they were. They played Giant Stadium.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you watch the video for "Don't Look Back" off that second album, that's where it's recorded.
That had to be a combo bill, though, right? I would imagine.
That's a little bit. I was still a little kid when that came out. I remember. I always loved that song. That for bass players, that's a great bass line in "Don't Look Back." But Boston, I just saw them a couple of years ago for the first time, and Brad Delp committed suicide, and the guy that got replacing him, great singer, no stage persona, but sings fantastic. And my favorite song off that album has always been "Rock and Roll Band," and they open with it. And it's great.
Can we just say, first of all, how suicide is the worst thing on the planet, number one. But if you're going to commit suicide and you actually bring your fucking grill into your apartment and turn the gas on for you to knock yourself out, listen, it's pretty inventive. Let's just get it that way. It's pretty inventive. I mean, let me see. Should I give you an obvious one, or should I give
No,
you that's gonna throw
no,
you?
go off the beaten path. I'm curious about that.
Uh, Great debut album. It was a unbelievably written album. Sadly, it's only one album. Jeff Buckley, Grace.
Yeah, we talked about him at one time.
I
Yeah,
love Jeff Buckley. I think he
yeah,
would have
yeah.
been.
You're a big Jeff Buckley fan, huh?
I just see the talent and what would have happened. There's so many. He's an Americana songwriter. Where I think of guys like John Prine or Rodney Crowell, people like that. But I think he would have been one of the biggest stars out there. He absolutely would have. There's a lot of stuff that gets released posthumously. There's always like a Jeff Buckley release on Record Store Day because these people are finding all the live recordings that he did. He recorded almost every show that he did. So now, you'll get like a really weird like cover version of something or just a totally different arrangement of another song. But the guy would have been phenomenally big. Absolutely.
Sadly, I never got into John Prine or Jeff Buckley.
I'm not a John Prine fan either. I know a lot of people, praise him. Obviously, he just passed away the other day, but it's something to look back. And this is the great thing about times like this. It's like you can really, if there's something you always wanted to watch or something you always wanted to listen to, now's the time because we got time. So I might go into a little John Prine. I might go watch The Wire now because I have free time on my hands. Sometimes you gotta really take these times as a blessing for certain things. And that's gonna be one of them. Now, next time I'm gonna talk about John Prine.
Okay.
Don't hold me to that.
Yeah, I won't hold you to that. I'm gonna go put my second favorite band on here, Sabbath debut album in 1970.
Yeah. Scratch that from my list.
Yeah. I mean, think about the opening track. The first of all, in that album, when they recorded that album, all in one day. Again, all in one day, 12 hours, and you're introduced to the Iommi sound. You know the story with Iommi. While he's working, he cuts off his fingertips, and what he winds up doing is making his own strings where he's able to play, and it creates a different sound. It's that very low sound. And the first time you ever hear Sabbath on record, the opening song, Black Sabbath, how eerie is that? And then and Ozzy, and then it diversifies with a harmonica opening of The Wizard,
right.
And then NIB, which that alone deserves to be put on this list.
NIB is one of my favorites. If I had to pick 5 Sabbath songs, NIB is without a doubt on that list.
Yeah,
such a killer song.
And a great riff, right? Yeah, agreed.
Oh, yeah. Simple and easy, but let me tell you, man, just off the charts.
And 1970. Holy
50
shit.
years. Believe that shit? I'm going to give you a weird one that's going to throw you off. Hootie and the Blowfish, Crack Rear View.
Just saw them last summer.
Yeah, I'm going to see Darius Rucker in August, too.
And they open with my favorite song off of that album, Hannah Jane.
That's they always open with Hannah Jane.
Did they? I wasn't a big fan of this. I was literally stuck in Connecticut with nothing to do. So I went to go see Hootie and the Blowfish and Bare Naked Ladies. And Hootie was much, much better than I thought they were going to be.
I call that frat rock. Where all the frat boys listen to. You just said Bare Naked Ladies, Hootie and the Blowfish, Third Eye Blind, Dashboard Confessional, OAR, bands like this. It's all like the frat scene goes into that. But Crack Rear View is a solid album. Hold My Hand goes down as one of the best pop songs of the last 25 years.
Yeah, he still sounds great too.
He's amazing, and he did a whole changeover to the country sound, but still does the Hootie and Blowfish stuff live. I mean, he does probably 3 or 4 songs. It doesn't go too deep, but he's made as big a career in country as he had with Hootie and the Blowfish. But now they're back together too, so now he's making double money.
Yeah, I wouldn't have counted you on doing that one. That's weird.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
I'll go out of genre, and I'll go the debut album of Run DMC.
Very nice. Very nice album.
Do you remember you talked about Slayer before? And do you remember a producer named Rick Rubin?
Sure.
He produced that album, and you remember the song Rock Box?
Of course.
Yeah.
Listen, Rick Rubin Rick Rubin has done more for music than almost anybody who hasn't played an instrument. As far as the recording, as far as
he records the Beastie Boys.
He did the Beastie Boys. He did Slayer. He did Run DMC. He did the Johnny Cash American recordings too. That 6-album set. He's done System of a Down. He did. I mean, he's countless. The ear that this guy has for music is a once in a lifetime occurrence. You know. You want to stick with rap? I'll tell you one. NWA, Straight Outta Compton.
That's a great album.
Straight Outta Compton really brought out the gangster rap genre when you think about it. And again, 6 rappers on one album, all sounding completely different. Of course, Dr. Dre was the one who really broke out musically. Ice Cube is, Cube is multi-level. You know what I mean, as far as acting and performing. And
Cube's debut, his solo album I remember having, and that was a great solo album. I don't know if you ever heard it.
Absolutely.
That's a really good one, too. Yeah, the NWA is really good. They're really good. Very underrated, I think, still.
I agree.
Okay, let's go a little classic rock. Let's go a couple of those. And the first Leonard Skynyrd album, pronounced Leonard Skynyrd. And listen, if on your debut album you have Freebird, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. You also do you have the friend who would always yell at the cover band, "Play some Skynyrd"?
Always. It was either that guy, or I remember we would go like to a wedding or someone's bar mitzvah, and they would have a band, and so like, hey, can you play any Floyd?
Yeah, I know, right?
And then they would play like a little riff of something, and you give them the thumbs up, like, yeah, that.
I have the one friend who does that, and he used to yell Slayer all the time too. So he would go, "Play some Skynyrd," or he would go Slayer. And one time they called him out on it. The band was going through like right in between the songs, and he yells out Slayer, and the guitar player looks, and I see the drummer go, and they bust into Rain and Blood.
Wow, they did the Rain of Blood.
Yeah, they just they did the and they just did the whole chorus, and my friend was like, I shut him up. Last time I did it.
Did you get at the back end of going like to the clubs and seeing like the cover bands like White Lion,
no,
Tiger and Flossie and all those bands?
No, the cover bands that we saw were like true cover bands, like the Nerds. The band.
Those bands came after. Do you remember places like the Fountain Casino?
No.
And that's a little bit before your time. You would have loved that era.
Oh, I always say if I had to pick what era to be alive in, I would be 21 years old in 1987.
You would have loved it.
That was it for me. Like I would be in LA. I would be dead by 22. I probably would have written a song for Guns N' Roses. I may have been in Pretty Boy Floyd for a little while. That is the ultimate for me. That's the era I would have grown up in.
Yeah, that was
10 years too early for me.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this before. I remember going out of my house on like a Tuesday night and going to see Twisted Sister over at the Rock Palace. Those were amazing times.
I'm disappointed in you, though.
You are.
How could you not put Metallica Kill 'Em All on your list?
Because I don't even have it on my little list. I don't think, because I think they came out with much better stuff as it went along. I don't think
it's one of the best debut albums.
No, I kind of disagree on that one.
Really?
Yeah, I like Metallica, but I don't think they get better as they go along. But yeah, it's like 2-3 albums in, just like Maiden.
When obviously Puppets is their greatest album. No one's ever going to deny that. But when I went to the city to do Don Jameson's show, after he was on our show, I wound up doing his show. Michael Alago was the guest alongside me. And Michael was the one who signed them to Elektra from Megaforce. And I mean, the stories he was actually saying was just, it's all in his book now, which is why, he's pushing the book. But I have a good friend of mine too, who's just posting pictures the other day, which blew me away. She's a little bit older than me. She's probably about your age. But we've been friends forever. And she's been in the metal scene since she's 15 years old. She posted a picture the other day of her, James, Cliff, and Kirk just hanging out after a show.
Would you just be at a club and saw him?
She was friends with. She used to date Billy Milano. Remember Billy Milano from MOD and SOD?
No.
Okay, they were from the so SOD was Stormtroopers to Death. So basically, it was Billy Milano and the rest of Anthrax playing behind them. But it's like kind of like this really hardcore punk. But she was dating him for a while, so she was always in the scene. But those pictures with just hanging out with James with 2 beers in their hands it blew me away.
It should be a good guest to get on this.
I would get her on. I mean, I remember helping her move one time when she was living in town here, and she moved away, and she had her bag of concert T-shirts. But some of them were so old, like it was Anthrax's first T-shirt, which was basically with a Sharpie.
Wow.
Like she had, I mean, the stories are just unbelievable. But I still put Metallica on there because you can't have a great career without the first album.
I agree, but I think that as albums went on, like I don't go back and listen to that. I like Massive Puppets. Ride the Lightning, I still think is better. To me, I don't know. It's them very raw, but you know what they're going to grow into.
Absolutely.
You know. Speak about a great debut album. Are you a fan of Oasis?
Right here, definitely maybe.
That's right, definitely maybe. Great debut album, and you know that's a band that, man, I wish they would have stayed together a little bit longer.
Oh yeah, man. I used to work at the arena, the Continental Arena, and they would give you employee tickets for like on the cheap. I saw Oasis for $2 at the Continental Arena.
Never saw them.
And I was like 13th row, but they were so good. I mean, you want to talk about a band who sounds just like the album. That's them live.
The closest I ever came, I was working something over at Randall's Island, and Noel Gallagher went up, and he did a whole bunch of Oasis.
The Flying Birds side band or something like that.
Just Noel Gallagher.
Oh, just him?
Yeah.
Let's see. I think an obvious one, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Are you experienced?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a real good one. You
have Purple Haze. You have...
Watch that one on that.
But yes. I'm not 100%.
Well, if we ever do a cover version show, that's probably on top of my list.
Cover versions of Jimmy songs sometimes are better than the original Jimmy song.
You know, with Stevie Ray doing
Stevie Ray with Voodoo Child. We talked about that live 2 weeks ago. I mean, again, people say, is he the greatest guitar player of all time? No, he's not. Was he the first great guitar player of all time? No, he's not. But he was very different from everybody.
You don't think he's you don't think he's like maybe the first great?
The first great? No, I don't think so.
Who would you put before him?
I mean, are you talking like technique, or are you talking just like...
I'm talking about package. I mean, you talk about a guy you go to the concert.
I'll put Chuck Berry ahead of him.
The rock star.
Chuck Berry.
Fucking rock star. Who came before him?
Chuck Berry.
Yeah, I guess Chuck Berry is the innovator, but I think Jimi Hendrix takes it like
next level. It's next level,
right?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But like, listen, I mean, was he the beginning of rock and roll? Fuck, absolutely not. You know what I mean? But I'll go and say he's probably the first monster guitar player.
Do you remember what broke out Jimi Hendrix was his performance at Woodstock?
Yeah, the Star Spangled Banner.
Right, and you remember how he ends the show? He ends the show smashing the guitar and lighting it on fire.
Yeah.
You know why he did that?
Was it an homage to Chuck Berry with the piano being lit on fire?
No, he did not close that show. The band the band that closed the show was The Who, and Jimi Hendrix was promised that he would close, and The Who kind of got a little whiny about it, and they weren't going to go on unless they can close.
Really?
So Jimmy was like, "Fuck it, we'll go on," and he ended the set like that, kind of like, "Now follow this. Now, okay, this is what I do. Now see if you can follow it." And if you remember, at the end of the Who's set, that's when Pete Townsend, the first time we really started to break the guitars and throw out the drum kit, was to try to top Hendrix.
Do you know who Hendrix's first tour was in the United States with?
Monkeys.
The Monkeys.
Yeah.
That's what a weird lineup, huh? Could you pick two more different friggin' artists to put on one show. That's like saying, hey, you know what? Here's Garth Brooks opening up for fucking System of a Down. It's
That'd be a
complete.
great show.
It'd be a great show for me, but it's just one of the weirdest lineups I ever saw.
That's a weird one.
I think you're up. I only have like 2 left because we have a lot of duplicates on mine.
All right. Let's see. How about, do you like this band? The Pretenders?
Love the Pretenders.
Yeah.
First album's a killer.
Yeah. Kid was on that. Brass Pocket. I don't know. They were like on the bottom of my top 15, 20 list here. So I didn't really kind of like, I was looking at that album. I was like, man, I forgot how strong that really was. But yeah, they had a lot of great songs off of that. And again, the introduction to the Pretenders, who was like a great band. Yeah, they kind of fall short of being a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame band.
They're in the Hall of Fame.
They're in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. They've been in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive.
Good take.
We're gonna pull out our Google machine here, Jeffrey.
Yeah, Fish should get in, but the Pretenders are in.
Let's see. Hall of Fame. Pretenders Hall of Fame.
Get in.
2005.
Wow, so they've been in for 15 years.
15 years they've been in the Hall of Fame.
I love the Pretenders, man. I love the Pretenders.
Chrissy Hynde was great. She even had a little bit of a solo career too, which is, wasn't super great. She had that song "I'll Stand By You." Yeah, she had a little bit, but
what's that song? Oh man, talk. Let me look up this song by them. They have a great song. Fuck, I don't know why I can't remember the song. I gotta find it.
You have Google on a flip phone?
Flip phone. Talk about the Pretenders, would you?
No, because I'm switching gears. I'm going with the Sex Pistols. Never mind the bollocks.
Yeah, I know the.
Listen, you might not like them, but they were one of the biggest punk bands of all time. Only put out one album as well, too.
Yes, well, because they died.
Well, that's a good reason to not put out an album, right?
Yes.
What else you got, Jeffrey?
Okay, the song I was trying to remember was the last song on the album, Mystery Achievement. I love that song. All right, I'm running out of albums too. I got a couple more.
Well, pick one. I only got one left.
The Doors' first album.
Good, I didn't put that on my list.
Okay, not a big fan of the Doors, but I mean, you have Light My Fire on there, and it's also, hey man, it's the Doors. You also have Crystal Ship on that album.
Did you watch the documentary The Rainbow?
I'm not a big fan. The only thing I really saw on the Doors was
it's not a Doors documentary. It's about the Rainbow Bar and Grill in LA. So it's on Amazon Prime. So the guy's been there since the 60s, and the Doors were the house band. And he talks about how he heard the owner now, because I heard them play Light My Fire for 2 fucking years. And then the song comes out on the radio. And he's like, you have got to be kidding me. It's a great doc, though. Check it out. It's on Amazon Prime.
I hate that song.
Yeah, I do, too. I'm not a huge fan.
Maybe I hate it because, like, growing up, like, on FM radio, that's all you ever heard.
Oh, yeah. It's like Stairway to Heaven for me. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Still love Stairway to Heaven, though.
No, it's nails on a chalkboard for me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. My last one on the list, and even though I'm not a huge fan, and this is not my favorite album of theirs, is Led Zeppelin 1.
Oh, dude. Holy shit. That's the last thing I have. Okay, it's the last thing I have, and that was what that's where we're ending with.
I mean, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, Communication Breakdown. Personally, I think Zeppelin 4 is their best album, but it's their most popular album, obviously. But Zeppelin 1 was just earth-changing when you think about it.
It's a great album, yeah.
Absolutely. You want to do one more? You want to wrap this up, Jeffrey?
I want to wrap it up because that was my last one. I can't.
How perfect was that?
Yeah, meant to be.
I'm telling you. Well, listen, this is going up on YouTube. We don't know when we're getting back in the studio, so we're probably going to be doing this for a little while. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll plug this. If anybody wants to come on the show, we have the ability now to do the Zoom with guests. So maybe we'll have a guest in for our next episode, and I'll work on that. Check out Who's Your Band on Facebook. Check it out on Instagram. We're going to start pushing that hard now with the Instagram, putting little clips on there.
Where you going to be?
I'm sorry? Where am I going to be? I'm going to be on my new couch all weekend, and probably Monday too. So look, we're going to get through this. It's almost we're hitting the top of the curve. I think we're hitting the home stretch right now. So we'll see.
I can't wait till we get back in the studio and do this. But in the meantime, people, please listen to this. You know, if you have any suggestions, anything, please write it in. You know, we have a Facebook page up. We always answer it pretty quickly.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. Till next week.
Ciao. Take care, Sean.